right. All right. How is everybody doing? Hope we're all good. And we are talking swing speed today. Long drives. Long drives are not always what we're working on when we're talking swing speed. It'll vary. Many times you want swing speed with an iron. But I know how most of us out there are, so we're going swing speed. We'll do a bunch of drills today. That's the goal. Today we want to work on drills that will increase our club head speed, our swing speed. And without, that's the key, without losing control. This is the last thing you want is more distance, but you're in the water or the bushes. So you want a good amount of power when you need it. So let's just start. If you have any questions about swing speed, different things we could do, or what you're working on, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can get to. And hopefully we'll have a good time for the next hour, and we can help everybody out. It's the goal. I just want to help you. I just want to help you guys out. So, where do we start? Let's say you're new to the game, and you need some club head speed. All right. So we want to start out. This is where I just begin. Is just really one hand. If you can control this left hand first, you know, this forward hand, that's just going to help build up the strength you need. So I will just start out swinging one-handed like that, and just hit a bunch of shots one-handed. It's hard, but you can't get way back here and make good contact with the ball. So to get this, you're here, and you're there. Like that, I kind of shanked. But what you're doing is you're getting control with your forward hand. You know, that's what you want. And although I'm not swinging fast, I'm building strength and I'm building control in that front hand. And that's one of the keys when you want to swing far, when you want to swing fast, controlling this front hand is going to be key. And just knowing where to make contact. This helps your eye-hand coordination so much. This really helps you dial in this area right in here. What I call that critical zone. Just, you know, from here to here. If you could control that every time, then you could really start adding speed. So I would do a lot of that to begin with. That's going to be key. Yeah. And so let's say you're a higher handicap, 15, 20 handicap, and you don't have distance. Now, maybe maybe you're just older and you don't swing as fast. That's fine too. You could still increase your distance a little bit with just some fundamentals. So I've seen some guys, some girls that can really hit it out there a fair distance, even though they might be older. So I wouldn't say age is really going to hurt you. I mean, there's a point at which, look, if you're 80, you're probably not going to hit as far as a 20-year-old. That's just reality. But you can get good distance with proper technique and with exercise and strength. But I don't believe personally that bulking up muscle-wise is going to be something that's going to prolong your career. It's not going to prolong your career. You look at like Brooks Koepka. I mean, that guy bombs it. I mean, he's huge. I wonder, I would be concerned how long his career will last injury-free. Like last year, he was hurt almost a whole year. Like we didn't hear from him until the US Open again, really. So that's just what all that muscle mass will do to your body. It will just wear down your body, like a baseball player who gets really big, and you know, at some point, a certain age, they'll just break down. And so we can get speed. We can get speed with technique, and you don't need giant muscles to get a lot of club head speed. Look at guys like Ricky Fowler and Justin Thomas, and you remember Ian Woosnam, short little dude, not muscular at all, but crushed the ball because he just had great hips, great power. He had a short swing, and he just, man, I mean, he put it in that ball, and he hit it a long way, and relatively injury-free. So, but we do want some strength in our front arm to be able to hit a solid shot. The second thing I like to do is just some drills. We want to work on training our body to swing faster than we're going to swing in the golf swing. So you see this all the time where you just swing a club and you hear that whoosh, right? Just don't get messed up here. The whoosh does not happen right at the ball. We don't want that. Because what happens is it really starts back here and goes to here. And that means you're releasing a little early. You're not gonna make perfect ball contact. You're really not gonna compress that ball like you want you to get maximum distance if you release right here. We wanna release up here. And that's gonna keep that wrist angle, that hinge a little longer, and then you're really gonna release ahead of the ball. So just doing this whoosh drill, whoosh it out there. Whoosh it out there. You're keeping everything in here, whoosh it out here. And practice that. Practice that a lot. Just so you know when you're releasing, and then when you get up to the ball, think about that same thing and release way out in front of the ball. And you'll start hearing just a different sound off that golf ball. It'll be more compressed, and that compression sound is totally different than just a normal hit off the mat. That was a good strike. But if I release it even more ahead of the ball, I mean, I can make that sound a little bit different. Like that. And you could just feel the compression difference. And that's what, when you hear compressing that ball, that's just how, how that club face is attacking the ball, coming into that ball. You're hitting down on that ball and you're hitting right in the middle, and the ball is being squeezed between the ground and the club face. And the longer that ball stays on that club face and is mushing, compressing, the farther it will go. So that's just releasing in front of the ball. Okay, awesome. Great, okay, John M., you bring us to our next point. How can you start the downswing with your lower body? I really struggle with this. Most people do. And let's talk about why, in my opinion, why most people struggle with this. And I believe it's because you take the club back and then you're trying to start with your lower body. Because that's what we want to do, right? Oh, start with your lower body. So that's what you do on the downswing. The problem is, when you do that, a lot of times you can lean in, you can come over the top, and because it's just not working together in sync. So instead of thinking, start the downswing with my lower body like this, okay? What we want to do, I want to start squatting down on my backswing, okay? Squatting down on my backswing here, and now I'm loaded. Now, almost no matter what I do, I've loaded my lower body already. So now I just begin. So instead of enjoy, I don't know if you're doing this or not, but if you're going back and then trying to squat down. Try squatting down on your backswing, and then you can just rotate. Okay? So the wrong way, in my opinion, is like this. Although you know you can hit good shots. Some people do that and have great success with it. But I find that like the average player, you could struggle with that. So try like that Ricky Fowler, he loads on his backswing. And then you load here. And then I'm already feeling like I'm in that ground. And then I rotate. And hold on, Joey, I got a little something for you. You guys might have seen this. Okay, I built this thing the other day. Watch this. This is my little invention. Sort of. I'll tell you more about that in the future. But I built this. This is a little Lazy Susan. You can get these at Home Depot. It's just asking for a Lazy Susan. And put it between two pieces of plywood. Build yourself one of these things. It cost me $13. You want to start with your lower body? This is the guy for you, and this will help your distance tremendously. So this, I start my backswing with my feet. And then, hold on, I'll be right back. The camera messed up. This little thing. I'm here. Okay. Hopefully that's better. Just, it got dark on me over there. I'm a one-man show. Okay, so this little guy, what I do is I just start my backswing with my feet, and this is really where you want to be. This is a full-on turn here. And then just turn your feet. Turn your feet. You know, you kind of have to. And you just, you're not going to hit it that far while you're on that. But it's something pretty cool because you start feeling starting with your lower body. And even squat down a little bit. I know somebody mentioned when they saw the video, they fatted everyone. Don't worry about that. I fat almost every shot I hit off this thing. But what I'm trying to do is just get that feeling like that. I did this the other day and I was sore. I still am sore. But then you get off of it and now you feel like your body's just, it's kind of like when you're on a boat all day and then you get off, you're like, whoa, land legs or sea legs, what are they called? Now I just feel like I'm gonna rotate. And starting that swing with my lower body. So that could be something to work on. Hold on. All right. I don't know why it does that. We're just fixing it up. So give that a try, Joey. I don't know. Does the chip and wedge shot help the driver? Yes. Okay, I'll talk about that. So I know we're talking swing speed and distance. Today, remember, when you work on your short game, it helps your driver. When you work on your driver, it doesn't necessarily help your short game. There's a little bit of a difference there. So anytime you could work on your short game, it will improve it will improve your long game. But today we are working on swing speed. Okay. So that's my little Lazy Susan board. And that gives you the feeling, because really when you get to your backswing, you kind of want to be here. Like this. So that allows your feet to get there. And you're just, it's easy to be here. Now, if you're turned like this, now it's hard. It's a little harder to really turn all the way back. But that's gonna help you get that feeling. Your feet will be here. It's like, oh, I'm right where I need to be at this position. And then you have to turn your, and when you turn those feet, this club will lay down. And you'll hit, and you'll come in, you'll shallow out that club and swing through. So that's why that is a really powerful training aid to help develop that lower body. So that's a great way to increase club head speed. All right. Another thing I like to do, and this is a great drill for you, is after you get those two pieces down, take the club back to here and swing as fast as you can. All right. We're trying to get here. And now if you're here and you're trying to swing as fast as you can, you have to use those legs. Right here. So really try to swing as fast as you can with that super, super short backswing. Just come in here. Because we're trying to speed up these hips. We're trying to get that. That's the move that we're looking for, but we want it to be as smooth as possible. Okay? But you want to train your body for it. That's too far, see? So I want to come here, and then, and it's just training. Hit a lot of balls like that. It'll really help dial in your motion, because to get more speed and distance, it's all about building one thing on top of another. So then we can eventually get to that driver and start hopefully crushing the ball. So when you're hitting drives, and I know a lot of people want to hit farther drives, we've got the technology, we've got the balls, we've got the clubs, we have everything we need to hit farther shots than ever before. But not, it's what are we doing wrong? Okay, for starters, what I see most of the time with those of you who are sending me your swings, and I'm going through a lot of these swings that you're sending and getting those back to you with screenshots, and typically, there hasn't been one that I haven't worked on setup. There's always some setup issues, and don't worry about it. It's very common. Even sometimes I'll go and have some friends look at me, and there's little setup things that I like to work on. Especially I video myself, and I'm always looking at my setup. Whenever something's wrong and I'm hitting hooks or I'm just pushing the ball a little too far, it's 90% of the time it has to do with my setup. And the other percentage of the time, it's because my swing is too long. So those are the top two issues. So for driver, we really have to get setup perfect. So that's why I like my board here, because I can put this guy down perfectly. Like just if they had little feet on him, it'd be perfect. So just pretend these are my feet, but I don't want to set up my drive based on where my feet are, because everybody's feet are going to be a little different. I want to set that ball on my left ear. That's where I want the ball to be, okay? So just right now I know it's in the center of my body, okay? It's right down my nose, everything's center, and so I just want it here. So so I need to move the ball to my left hand there. Okay, so let me just back up. There, now it's on my left ear. Perfect. So now I'm good. Now my feet, I could just put one foot here and one foot there. Now my feet are about shoulder width, or just slightly more than shoulder width. That's the easy way. And You don't need to do this. This is no good. Like, just leave that straight. This comes straight. Even back is fine. A little behind the ball is fine. Too far forward, look at that face starts opening. And then you have to shut the face. And now you've just de-lofted the club a whole bunch. You know, I see this all the time. To get that face square, now you took a driver that's 9.5 degrees. And because your hands are so far forward and you know that face is wide open, now you like this, and now I have like a 4-degree driver. It's like a putter now, okay? That is going to destroy your putting game. Because when you de-loft the club, you add so much more spin on the ball. So you don't want that, okay? So let that club sit flat on the ground, let it come straight back, put the ball in your left ear, and you could use your little feet things if you want them. And this is a good little, it's a good little driving aid just to really help understand rotation. You want to get those turning. What I see a lot is just because you can swing at 100 miles an hour doesn't mean you should. You're not going to swing it that fast standing on these. But what you're going to do is learn how the body should move. You're going to start with more of a one-piece takeaway. You don't want this. You really want those feet to spin back and spin through. Now, I'm not getting on to my left side, but that's okay. What I'm learning is rotation, proper body movement right there. Oh, I was thinking about this guy, Matthew Lloyd. Do you remember me asking about Tommy Fleetwood? Yes, I do remember that. And I was thinking about that when I was watching the US Open. And I was thinking, man, yes, you asked me, and I said, I think he can win. And he almost did. I was kind of rooting for the guy. And my pick was Ricky Fowler. If he wasn't winning on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. See, he always does this. He's right there. And then one of the weekend days, he just blows up. And then he shoots like a 65 Sunday. Like if he shot even par or 1 or 2 over on Saturday, I mean, he would have had it. There, just rotate, rotate. You got to build one of those things. My neighbor's gardener just showed up again. His lawnmower. And I also had my sleeper pick was Tony Finau. I don't know if you guys remember me saying that, but man, he was close. He had it. I mean, he got lucky Saturday because he got like the perfect draw time, but he, it's just frustrating when these guys are there and they don't have that, you know, you can just tell they don't have it. They don't have it that day and they're a little off. So I felt bad for him and Daniel Berger because, you know, they were in the lead and then they just kind of lost it. But Tony Finau came through. He almost pulled it off. Tony Finau. Turn and then turn like that. That's what you want. Turn and turn. So something like this is going to help you get the motion that you're looking for long, powerful drives. Okay? And then same setup. And then I really want you to squat down on that backswing and load that. In my opinion, when you're trying to hit farther drives or any shot, when you come down, you avoid getting top heavy. It's kind of like when you're jumping, you know, you want to jump in the air, you go down first. Same thing with the drive. You want to hit it far, you go down, and then you could come up a little bit. And it's just a very powerful position. Like that. So that's something you can work on. Okay, good, good. Okay. Also, here's a great drill. My towel is totally filthy. Get a towel, lay it down. You're gonna get on your knees. Oops. And you're gonna hit shots on your knees. So, on one drill, we're working on our upper body, our lower body, and this drill, we're working on our upper body. We've got to be able to swing our upper body really fast. And a drill like this is great because you're not going to use your lower body at all. And really get down into your heels back here, right in the center. Don't worry about this, just hands naturally where they go, right? Just in the center, ball on that left ear. And if you slice the ball, this is a great drill for you as well. If you hook the ball, fantastic drill for you, because you can't, if you're coming over the top, you're gonna come down on that ball like this and hit down here. If you're coming too far from the inside, you're gonna hit way back here. So you kind of have to have a one plane style swing. You've got to be able to take that back on plane and hit. And I just hit a little behind that ball. I was a little too inside out. I see guys I play with sometimes, they do this on the course, goofing around. See how far they can hit it? It's a fantastic swing speed drill. Right here, sit down. And I'm just thinking, okay, right out there. And you can hit a ton of shots on your knees like that. So then when you get up, you're gonna have that same feel right in here. And that's the ticket right there. And you can go after it, and you're gonna start hitting. Anytime my driver is off, I will get on my knees and hit shots. Because it's just anything you could do to help straighten yourself out. Yeah. Okay, do you like Patrick Reed's swing? He seems like your concept about short backswing. Swing. He seems like short backswing. Yeah, I love, I used to not like Patrick Reed, but nah, he's kind of grown on me. I like that guy. Hold on, let me brighten up this camera if I can a little bit. It's getting a little dark. See how that goes. Okay. Yeah, now Patrick Reed primarily plays a draw, which is interesting because he gets to Augusta, and then you just see this helicopter swing. Just anything he could do not to hook the ball too much. But yeah, he's just got this nice fluid. But you watch him, he's very, very much this lower body turn. Like, he's not your Dustin Johnson, super muscular dude, but he won the Masters. Okay? Then you had, super buff dude win the US Open. But I think like a guy like Patrick Reed will probably, just in my opinion, he'll stay healthy a lot longer. But I do like his swing. He's got this like little pause up here, and then, and he does cut it off. So that's another thing to look at when you're having trouble with your golf swing, with your ball flight, is not only shorten the backswing, but shorten the follow through. That will reveal a lot of stuff. Just cut that off right there. So if you're on the course and you're having issues finding the fairway, it might be more difficult to shorten your backswing while you're playing the round. I find that, man, it's hard to change my backswing during the round. I've tried, and like I top the ball, and you know, you get a few head turns, and your buddy's like, what just happened? Because you know, you just get used to getting back here. So instead of doing that, I'll hit and I'll stop right here, because that I can do for some reason, and it might work for you. Just take your swing and stop it. What it does is it helps me get in a good finished position. And if my club is like here, really too far, you know, I rotated it way too much, and I'm like, whoa, then okay, what's going on? Is it my grip, or, you know, am I just rotating my hands way too much? Like I said in a video recently, take your hands out of your golf swing. And it's a huge issue. A lot of people gave me a lot of flack for that, which is fine. But most of the time, I notice people are putting way too much hands in there, and they're getting this cup and they're way over here. And if you could shorten it out here and try to keep that club face matching your spine angle. So like that would be too much turned over. And if I find like I'm here, well then my spine angle doesn't match my club face, and I need to stay in the shot with my spine a little too much. And so what happens is it might be I'm just coming out of the shot too much, too early, and so I'm putting a hook on the ball. So I'm like, oh, I gotta just stay in the shot a little more, and that might help. And then, oh, there we go. And then you start seeing a little fade or a different shot when you're doing that. Okay, so talking about long drives, hitting more distance, I rarely talk about widening your stance, because that can get us in a lot of trouble. Especially, here's why. If you have a setup and you set up off your left foot, which so many people do, and then they widen that stance, right? Off the mat even. Then that club's out here and I have to go like this. And they think that, okay, I widen my stance, there we go. Now I'm ready to power drive. No, I mean, you're set up for disaster here. That ball's way too far forward. There's no way you're gonna swing and be able to get to that ball with any real speed, power, control, precision. I mean, it's just gonna be a mess. So again, stay off that left ear, okay? Set up normal setup. So if you wanna widen your stance, I mean, just drop that back foot a little bit back. Set up off your left ear and then drop that foot back a little bit, but bring that one there forward. Still keep the ball off your left ear, okay? Here's my normal stance. I want to equally widen my stance without moving the handle of the club. Here's my normal setup. Okay, keep it here. Now just slightly widen my stance. And as I widen, I want a little more knee bend. Okay? And now I'm good. Now, do I swing harder? No. I'm going to swing faster, but I'm not gonna swing longer. Don't make that mistake. I mean, you're not in the long drive contest. You're not Jamie Sadlowski. You're not John Daly. Okay, keep it here and come in here. Okay, you can get a great distance. Squat down on your backswing. Everything's good. Because you're down here and then you're exploding through the ball here. I mean, if you can feel like you're here when you strike the ball, that's a good spot to think about this. I know it looks weird, but that's what the feeling you want to have. You look at Albert Pujols or Aaron Judge. I mean, these guys are hitting baseballs. I mean, they're out here. Boom. I mean, that's kind of where you want to be. You want to be rotating rotating on that front. Your weight, a lot of weight still on my back foot, but it's moving forward. But it's not, I mean, forward's a bad word. It's moving this way, that way. That's the way I'm moving my weight. My weight is spinning. Therefore, it will be out here at some point during my swing. Thus, my weight is forward of where I started because we're spinning. We're not moving back and forth. It's not a pendulum. Right? It's that Ferris wheel type of motion. And you release here and the ball goes there. So that's what your weight is doing. Your weight is spinning around on that Ferris wheel. So I hate thinking move to your front foot, move forward. To me, it's move around, rotate, and that weight will be forward. It'll be out here. Oh, and then you stop and you catch your weight up here. That is really key. Is why do you slide? Why do you slide into that ball? It's because you're thinking about moving your weight up here. I gotta get that ball, I gotta get my weight to my front foot. That's, in my opinion, it's like, look, I think a lot of times we get off track. There should be some golf teaching malpractice suits. Because when they tell you to move that weight to that front foot, it gets you in that sliding habit. And we want to stay away from that as much as possible. Okay, any tips to fix early extension? Well, yeah. Good question, because early extension loses power. Okay? Early extension. So there's a reason you're extending early. Okay? It's not just I extend early because that's what I do. No, there's a reason why you do it. Okay? So typically it's because you lose this spine angle right here. So your butt's coming in and then your hands, they have to release. They can't not release. They have to do something. So then you have that early release because you're standing up straight. Okay? So one thing I like to do for that drill is take this, you've seen this drill, right? Where you take a step back and take a step forward and hit the ball. Okay. I don't want to say don't ever do that again, but I wouldn't do it ever again. Okay? Because it just goes, it gets us back into that move back and move forward. And we want to avoid that. So I have a variation of that drill, this drill where you go here, and then people, I don't like that because then we're going back and forth. So don't do it. So what I do is I take a step back and then I take a step this way. Make sense? So I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to step around and hit the ball. So it's similar, but you're here and you're over here. Now you're not going to hit hardly good shots like that. That's a problem. Most instructors won't tell you to do drills that cause you to hit poor shots because you'll think, oh, that didn't work. No, I'm going to give you drills where you're barely going to be able to hit the ball because I don't care how you hit the ball during the drill. I care how you hit the ball when you're on a golf course. So you're going to take a step back and then you're going to step over here, because that's the feeling I want you to have during the swing. So step back and then step back, and now you're extending out to the ball, which you actually really need that feeling. And right there. And I mean, that ball is going to go 40, 50, 60 yards. Maybe. So, you can just here, step out there. I don't want 100 and something. Okay, now what that's helping me do is have that feeling like, oh, from here, I want to go here, back here, in terms of my feeling, my swing. And your weight will, the momentum, like I said, will take your weight forward. And then when you swing, your body will, this this butt cheek will start moving back, and this one will move out and around, and then it will stop you from early extension. And that's the problem, is that early extension. So then think about that, step back, and hit a normal shot. And I'm like, whoa, I really went there. And don't hit one shot and duck hook it and say, it didn't work. It's not gonna work for a while. You gotta put in a little time on that and get that feeling so that you're like, okay, I'm really gonna feel myself coming back over here while I rotate. And finishing on this toe is gonna be huge, okay? So I would work on that. And it's okay if you hit and your weight is way back here, as long as, because it's you're turning, so it will transfer to your front foot. And that's a huge issue, is that early extension. Another reason you could be early extending, it's all spinal. You could be too far from the ball. Okay, you could be way out here. Okay, if I'm out here, I mean, you have nowhere to go but up. Butt up? Don't make any jokes. Okay. Okay. Like if I'm way out here, I'm gonna take it back. I mean, I have to come up. So get in here. Your weight, your armpits, right here, put it right in the center. It should go over your toe, the ball of your feet. That should be over the balls of your feet. Okay? I like to put it right here. So it just hangs down, perfect. That's where your weight should be. Like you could be hunched over like this, that's fine. Right? Get your butt in, you could start here. If you start a little more here, you're not gonna come here anymore, right? Then you'll more likely go there, which is better, right? So with that step back move, that's where you want to be, right in here. Boom. But if you're too far from the ball, then you're going to lose your spine angle way early. So we got to work on that. So get in here. You don't have to be far from the ball to hit it far. Let your arms hang down. I'm about a fist from my belt buckle. Okay, I'm not two fists. I'm just right. One. Armpits over the balls of my feet. Shoulder square. Best I can. I like to bounce my knees because sometimes you get like this. You're trying to square, and then just keep it. Yeah, there you go. And then squat down on my backswing. That was one of my best drives. All right, does that make sense? In here, left ear, set up, set up, set up, set up is critical. That's the thing I tell students, anybody I teach, is that anybody can set up perfectly. Anybody. From little kid to 100 years old, it doesn't matter. You can set up correctly and perfectly. And there's no one perfect setup, but there's certainly fundamentals that you want to, you want to make sure you have down right. And I just see a lot of this with that club square, which is a killer. It's a killer. So to have a buddy, just take a photo of yourself. Take a picture of yourself set up right here. And then line that up with like a pro and just say, do I look anything like that or not? And try to get somewhere close. Like you don't want to be here. Like I don't know too many PGA guys set up like this. Okay? Be in here. And a lot of people do that because they get off track and they start setting up poorly, and then you know, and then it just goes from there, and it's kind of sad. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Armpits over there. Okay, and another drill. Here's another drill. Like, so many times, we get up here, and I want you to think about moving your head backwards on your downswing. Or, I said that wrong. Look backwards on your downswing, this way. Okay, so you're here, and you just want to, and that's going to keep your head. Now, I always like turning your head, which is fine, but in this situation, I want to stay behind the ball. I want my head to stay behind the ball, because that's really going to generate a ton of club head speed. So there's a few things I like to do to be able to do that. And one is just try to turn my head this way on my downswing. And it's really hard to do, but give it a try. And again, that's, as long as you have your rotation down, you're going to be able to do that and not get stuck in here. If you're getting stuck, then I recommend the opposite, which is turn your head the other way. And you know if you're getting stuck. Okay. My back foot comes off during downswing. Your back foot comes off during downswing. Do you recommend keeping the back foot planted until after contact? Okay, so your back foot is coming up. Okay. Well, if your back foot, well, that's probably, if your back foot is coming up on the downswing, so again, I would work on that rotation, because that's going to help. Squat down your backswing, rotate, and as you rotate, like, I mean, if you come up on your toe, that's fine. But I mean, if your foot's coming off the ground, that's no good. So we want to keep rotating. Think rotate, not weight shift. And I think that will help keep that foot planted. I don't want it on the ground when you hit, but again, everybody's a little different. Like I said, there's no one way to do it, but if you're rotating, you could be here. Some people are a little more here. Some people are very flat-footed. As long as you're rotating and your hips are rotating and you hit and then you finish up here, okay? This is your toe, right? That's not your toe now. This is not finishing on my toe. Right, my foot is bent. I'm on like the balls of my feet. I want to be way up here. Then I know I've rotated and I'm fully on this toe. Okay? So that's how I would tackle that, is just really a lot more rotation through the ball. Squat down. And make sure you're there. Right there. Okay. So as you get more distance, you know, all these pieces are adding to your distance. It's fundamentals. Fundamentals create proper sequencing, creates harnessing all your power, which in turn sends that ball a lot farther down the fairway. And a lot straighter. Rotation is the key. All right, we have time for a few more. So yeah, okay. I guess I thought you meant on your toe. No worries. I taught the draw. Using your method with the alignment stick has a problem with over swinging. Any drill you recommend? Okay. So Robbie's Web, my daughter, who I taught the draw using your methods with the alignment stick, awesome, has a problem with over swinging. Any drill you recommend? So I watched your daughter swing online because you sent it to me, and I didn't notice her over swinging. Maybe she does. Maybe she's doing it now. I wouldn't like stop an overswing at the moment. If it's too far, if it's too much of a backswing, then I would. But for now, I think, I don't know, how your daughter's like 15, 18, something like that. She's a teenager, I believe. So, you know, if she's just going back too far, then yeah. And it seems like you're with her a lot, and which is great. So what I would do is I would do this with my kids. I would take another club, and as they took a backswing, I'm standing over here, out here, right? And I hold the club right here. And so they stop this is the top of their backswing. And they hit, and then they go. So that's how I would, so I'd be standing over here, they would take it here, and once they touch the club, that would be the end of it. They would swing. And that's how I help them like get a good, tight backswing, short backswing. So here. And then just unleash going through. And so if you say over swinging, I'm assuming it's on the backswing. So I would just put that club here and force her to take a shorter swing, but follow through. As long as she's not losing her balance, swing as hard as you can. Because you want to be able to swing as fast as you can and build up that coordination, that timing, and be able to feel that really well. Great. Yeah, okay, here's a good question. Wait. Okay, there are times when I get that great sound and my buddies keep asking, how do you do that? I feel wrong saying, hit it harder. Hit it harder. Well, you're hitting the center of the club face, and they're not. So that's the big difference. You know, if I hit this off the toe, that sounded pretty good. You know, it's hard to hit a bad shot on purpose. So they're just not making solid contact. You're hitting it square on the face with a fair amount of club head speed, and you're compressing that ball. That's the good sound. Okay, do you recommend any physical exercises targeting certain muscle groups that help in increasing swing speed? I do. So I use, if I go to the gym, I will use the, I don't know what they're called, but it's that thing you go like this, and it has that little rope thing on there, and it's a rope with like a handle. You're pulling rope, and I'm using that. I'm pulling this side, and I'm doing that, and then I turn it around, and I do both sides. That's one thing I do, and that's just working up, you know, your forearm, your shoulder, all this. I'll do different stretches and exercises down here just to get my shoulder turn, so I can get a good shoulder turn. And I'll do that same thing with that same device. It's a little rope, and I'll just do these where I'm working my hips. I'm working the hips back and forth. That's a couple I do. And then, you know, your basic, I don't do heavy weights. I do medium weight with a lot of reps. So, you know, different flies. I'll do push-ups and sit-ups and things like that. There's a lot you could do. I mean, we could talk for a whole hour on exercise. Maybe we'll do that one day. What is he saying? Okay. Okay. Well, somebody was asking about a slice. So there's many reasons for the slice. All these things we talk and come over the top at the same time. You just can't do both those things at the same time. So, uh-oh. What's wrong with my internet connection? Sorry about that. Don't know what's going on. We'll fix that. But we're almost done anyway, so, all right, we're just buffering a little bit, so, you know, technology. Oh, man. It's just, let me set this up here. All right, so get those last questions in. Would you play a few rounds without a driver and just use an iron to help your driver game? Yes, I've done that. I've gone out and played with only irons. I've played with 4 clubs. I've played with less. I've played with a few. You want to build confidence. And so when you could do that, any way you could do that, I recommend it. And many times it's going out there with less clubs. And that will help your overall game. Lose some irons, lose some wedges. Force yourself to play shots with different equipment. It will really help you. So again, what I was talking about, that slice, hit up on that ball. Hit up on it. I mean, if you're hitting up on that ball, chances are you're coming slightly from the inside, because you can't come from over here and hit up. I mean, it's just not going to work. And always go back to just a normal athletic swing. It seems like everybody knows how to swing a baseball bat. You know, you're just here and you're here, right? You're here, you're here. You never hit, I mean, are you hitting down on a baseball? Does that happen much? I mean, maybe if you're trying to bunt the ball or something, but not too many people are doing that. So, swing up on the ball. That will really, really help your game. All right, we're having internet connections here. Okay, last question of the day from, I don't want to mispronounce your name, but tips to hit up on the driver without losing control of your flight. You're hitting up, so losing control of your flight, I guess that would mean it goes too high, you're hitting way too high. Yeah, I mean, so work on ball position, okay? Hit up on that. If you're going too high, I mean, if you're not slicing it, then it shouldn't be that big a deal. You know, how high do you want it? How low do you want it? You know, I don't know how, everybody's a little different. I really wouldn't worry too much about that unless you're skying the ball really high. But we're trying to lose a slice by hitting up on the ball. So I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about the flight of your ball. I would worry about the direction of it. That's where I would go. And then if it starts going too high, then what you can do, just do some, you know, tests, try to find out exactly where on that club face you're hitting it. Put a mark on the ball, and then it puts a little mark on your club face. If you're hitting it way too high in the club head, then the ball might be too far back in your stance, and you're still hitting down on it. And there's ways, you know, you can go and just have your local pro or whoever look at that on the flight scope, see what angle of attack. A lot of times you think you're hitting up on it and you're still hitting down on it. And so you got to work that out so you can hit up on that ball really well. Anyways, we're gonna wrap up. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If there was buffering a little bit, sorry about that. We've had some good shows with none of that, so I don't know what happened today. Technology, what are you gonna do? Anyways, let me know. Send me your swings. Go to my website, mrshortgame.com, book a lesson, and then you can send me your swing. I'll analyze that, or you know, reach out if you want it on the show. Just send it in. We'll put it. I'll try to put it on here. We'll look at it live together. Let everybody watch you. How exciting will that be? Anyways, we'll be back on Tuesday, most likely. I think, unless something crazy happens. Could happen. You never know. Oh, and yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to give you maybe some, check me out on Instagram at Mr. Short Game. I'll be at the California State Amateur tomorrow and Saturday, watching the semi, doing some work out there for the SCGA, and amateurgolf.com asked me to come out and help out. So I'm going to be with those guys. Check them out, amateurgolf.com. They do a ton of awesome amateur golf events, updates, gives you all that info. So check them out. But anyways, check us out on Instagram at Mr. Short Game. We'll be at the California State Amateur semifinals, finals tomorrow and Saturday. Who's going to win? It's exciting match play. So check that out. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. It's been a great time. Peace out. We'll see you next time.